They say the real competition isn't outside your company. It's sitting right across from you. My name is Natalie Harper, and this is the story of how my coworker tried to steal my biggest client and how I turned the tables in a way no one saw coming. Have you ever trusted someone at work only to find out they were plotting behind your back? When I first joined Pulse Creative, I thought I'd finally found my place. The agency was fast-paced and full of big personalities, and every day felt like a new challenge. I'd worked my way up from junior account manager to handling some of our most important clients, including Vantage Tech, a company that had been with us for years. Vantage Tech wasn't just any client. They were the kind of account that could make or break your career. I'd spent months building trust with their team, learning their quirks, and delivering results that kept them loyal to Pulse. My boss, Ms. Ramirez, always said, "Natalie, you're the glue that keeps Vantage with us." But in the agency world, loyalty is a rare commodity. Enter Chloe Bennett, the new senior account manager. Chloe was everything you'd expect from a rising star. Sharp, charming, and always dressed to impress. She had a way of making everyone feel like they were the most important people in the room. At first, I was excited to have her on the team. She brought fresh ideas and seemed genuinely interested in learning from me. But it didn't take long for the cracks to show. Chloe started asking a lot of questions about Vantage Tech, how I managed the account, who my contacts were, and what strategies I used. I chalked it up to curiosity, maybe even admiration, but then she started showing up to my client meetings, uninvited. She'd chime in with suggestions, sometimes contradicting me in front of the client. At first, I tried to be gracious. Maybe she just wanted to help. But then things got weird. One afternoon, I got a call from Mark, my main contact at Vantage. "Hey, Natalie, just wanted to confirm our meeting tomorrow. Chloe sent a new agenda. Are you still leading the project?" My stomach dropped. I hadn't sent any new agenda. I checked my email, and sure enough, Chloe had CC'd me on a thread, after the fact, outlining a new direction for the campaign. It was bold, flashy, and completely different from what Vantage had asked for. I confronted Chloe after work. "Hey, Chloe, I noticed you sent a new agenda to Vantage. Next time, can we coordinate first?" She smiled, all innocent. "Oh, I just thought it would be good to shake things up. You know how clients love fresh ideas." I tried to brush it off, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Over the next few weeks, Chloe ramped up her efforts. She started taking credit for my work in team meetings, dropping hints to Ms. Ramirez about new strategies she's bringing to the table. She even started inviting Vantage's team out for coffee, without me. The final straw came when I walked into a Monday morning meeting and found Chloe sitting at the head of the table, chatting with Mark and the Vantage team. She barely acknowledged me as I sat down. When the meeting started, she launched into a presentation, using my slides, my data, and my ideas. She'd even changed the branding to make it look like her own. I felt a mix of anger and disbelief. Was I being paranoid, or was Chloe really trying to edge me out of my own account? After the meeting, Mark pulled me aside. "Natalie, is everything okay? Chloe said you were stepping back from the account." That was it. Chloe wasn't just ambitious. She was actively trying to steal my client. I went home that night feeling defeated. I'd worked so hard to build something real with Vantage, and now it felt like it was slipping through my fingers. But as I sat there, replaying every moment, I realized something. Chloe might be good at playing office politics, but she didn't know Vantage like I did. She didn't have the history, the trust, or the real connection. And that's when I decided I wasn't going to let her win. I knew I had to fight back. But to outsmart Chloe, I'd have to play a whole new game, one she'd never see coming. That night, I barely slept. I kept replaying Chloe's words and Mark's confused expression in my mind. Was I really being pushed out of my own account? Was I just paranoid? Or was Chloe actually trying to erase me from the picture? The more I thought about it, the more I realized I wasn't just fighting for a client. I was fighting for my reputation, my career, and everything I'd built at Pulse Creative. Have you ever had a coworker try to take credit for your hard work or steal your client? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to know I'm not alone in this. The next morning, I decided to get proactive. I started by reviewing every email, every project file, and every note I ever sent to Vantage Tech. I wanted to make sure there was a clear record of my work and my relationship with the client. I even started keeping a private log of every interaction with Chloe, just in case things got ugly. But Chloe was relentless. She started looping herself into every conversation with Vantage, sometimes even responding to emails before I had a chance to. She'd accidentally leave me off calendar invites, then apologize with a sugary sweet, "Oh, I must have missed you on the thread." She was playing the long game, and I could see her confidence growing with every move. I tried to talk to Miss Ramirez, but she seemed distracted. "Natalie, I know you're worried, but Chloe's just trying to help. Maybe you two can collaborate more closely." It was clear she didn't want to get involved in office drama. Meanwhile, my relationship with Vantage started to feel strained. Mark was polite, but distant. The rest of the Vantage team seemed confused about who was actually leading their account. I could feel the ground shifting beneath me, and I hated it. One afternoon, I had decided to take a risk. I called Mark directly and asked if we could grab coffee, just the two of us. He hesitated, but agreed. We met at a quiet cafe near the office, and for the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. "Mark, I have to be honest," I said. "I feel like there's been some confusion about who's managing your account. I want to make sure you're getting the best service possible." He looked relieved. "Natalie, I'm glad you said something. Honestly, we've been a little overwhelmed by all the changes. Chloe's ideas are interesting, but it's not what we're used to. We trust you. You know our brand, our goals, our people." That was all I needed to hear. I promised Mark I'd make things right. Back at the office, I started doubling down on what made my relationship with Vantage special. I sent personalized updates, checked in on their team's big milestones, and even remembered little details, like Mark's daughter's graduation and the Vantage team's annual charity run. I made sure every interaction felt genuine, not just transactional. Chloe, meanwhile, kept pushing her flashy new ideas. She scheduled a big pitch meeting with Vantage, inviting the whole Pulse Creative leadership team. She made it clear she was the star of the show, sending out a glossy agenda, and even hinting that she'd be taking over the account full-time. I knew I had to act fast. I spent the weekend preparing a counter-presentation, not just about numbers and strategies, but about the real relationship we'd built with Vantage over the years. I gathered testimonials, success stories, and even a few thank you notes from the client. I wanted to remind everyone, especially Miss Ramirez, why Vantage had stayed with us for so long. The day of the pitch, the tension in the conference room was electric. Chloe went first, dazzling everyone with her slides and buzzwords. She talked about disrupting the market and redefining the brand. The room nodded along, impressed by her confidence. Then it was my turn. I stood up, took a deep breath, and spoke from the heart. I know we can talk about innovation and big ideas all day, but what's kept Vantage with Pulse Creative isn't just our creativity, it's our partnership. It's the trust we've built, the results we've delivered, and the way we show up for you year after year. I shared stories, real data, and even moments that mattered to the client. I could see Mark and his team nodding, smiling, and remembering why they'd chosen us in the first place. After the meeting, Chloe shot me a glare that could have melted steel, but I didn't care. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I had taken back control. But the fight wasn't over yet. That afternoon, I got an email from Miss Ramirez. "Let's discuss the Vantage account tomorrow. Please come prepared." I had no idea if I had done enough to save my client or my job, but I knew one thing: I wasn't going down without a fight. The next morning, I arrived at the office early, nerves buzzing in my stomach. I spent an hour reviewing every detail of the Vantage account, making sure I was ready for anything. I even printed out a few of the client's handwritten thank you notes and tucked them into my folder, just in case I needed a reminder of what I'd accomplished. When I walked into Miss Ramirez's office, Chloe was already there, perched on the edge of her seat with a confident smile. Miss Ramirez motioned for me to sit. "Let's get right to it," she said. "Vantage is one of our most important clients, and I want to make sure we're giving them the best possible service. Chloe, you've brought some exciting new ideas. Natalie, you've built a strong relationship with them over the years. I want to hear from both of you." Chloe jumped in first, pitching her vision for a total rebrand. She talked about bold campaigns, viral social media stunts, and taking Vantage to the next level.
She was polished, persuasive, and clearly aiming to impress. When she finished, Miss Ramirez turned to me. "Natalie?" I took a breath and spoke calmly. "I think innovation is important, but so is consistency. Vantage trusts us because we know their brand inside and out. We've helped them grow year after year, not just with flashy campaigns, but with strategies that actually work for their audience. I believe we should build on what's working, not throw it all away for something untested." I handed Ms. Ramirez the folder with the client's thank you notes, testimonials, and a summary of our results over the past 3 years. This is what Vantage values most: our partnership, our reliability, and our understanding of their needs. Ms. Ramirez studied the folder, her expression unreadable. "Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate your perspective." The meeting ended with no clear decision. Chloe left in a huff, barely glancing at me. I went back to my desk, trying to focus on my other projects, but my mind kept spinning. Had I done enough? Would Miss Ramirez see through Chloe's charm and recognize the real value I brought to the table? That afternoon, I got a call from Market Vantage. "Natalie, can we talk?" We met at the same cafe as before. Mark looked serious, but not unfriendly. He said, "I wanted to let you know that we've been approached by other agencies. Chloe's pitch was interesting, but it felt like she was trying to sell us something we didn't ask for. What we really want is someone who understands us, who listens, and who's there when it matters." I felt a wave of relief. That's always been my goal, Mark. I want to help you succeed, not just win awards for our agency. He smiled. "That's why we're staying with you, Natalie. I've already told Miss Ramirez. If you're not leading our account, we're taking our business elsewhere." I could hardly believe it. After weeks of feeling powerless, I finally had the leverage I needed. The next day, Miss Ramirez called me into her office again. This time, her tone was different, more respectful, almost apologetic. "Natalie, I spoke with Vantage. They made it clear they want you as their account manager. I'm sorry for any confusion. You've done an incredible job, and I want you to know how much we value your work." I thanked her, feeling a mix of relief and vindication. Chloe, on the other hand, was noticeably absent from the office for the rest of the day. But I wasn't done yet. I wanted to make sure this never happened again, not just to me, but to anyone else on the team. I started mentoring some of the newer account managers, sharing what I'd learned about building real client relationships and standing up for yourself when it matters. Chloe tried to save face, but her influence faded quickly. Clients saw through her act, and she was eventually moved to a less client-facing role. The office felt lighter and more supportive, and for the first time in a long time, I actually looked forward to coming to work. But the best part? Vantage Tech renewed their contract for another 3 years, our biggest deal yet. And this time, my name was on every email, every report, and every win. I'd fought for my client, my reputation, and my place at Pulse Creative, and I'd won. But the real victory was knowing I'd done it the right way.
The news about Vantage Tech's renewed contract spread through the office like wildfire. For the first time in weeks, I felt the tension in my shoulders melt away. People stopped by my desk to congratulate me, and even some of the more skeptical team members offered genuine smiles. It was a small victory, but it felt huge. Chloe, on the other hand, was nowhere to be seen. She'd been reassigned to a new project, one that didn't involve any major clients. I heard whispers that she'd tried to pitch her big ideas to another account, but the client wasn't impressed. The truth was, Chloe's style worked for a quick win, but not for building real, lasting relationships. A few days later, Ms. Ramirez called a team meeting. The whole account management department gathered in the conference room, the air buzzing with curiosity. Ms. Ramirez stood at the front, her expression serious but proud. "I want to take a moment to recognize the incredible work Natalie has done with Vantage Tech. Not only did she secure our biggest contract renewal of the year, but she also demonstrated what true client partnership looks like. It's not about flashy presentations or empty promises. It's about trust, consistency, and always putting the client first." She turned to me and smiled. "Natalie, you've set a new standard for all of us." The room erupted in applause. I felt my cheeks flush, but I stood tall, finally feeling seen for who I really was. After the meeting, Chloe approached me in the hallway. For the first time, her confidence seemed to have cracked. She looked at me, her eyes searching for something. Maybe understanding, maybe forgiveness. "I guess I underestimated you," she said quietly. "You really do know how to keep a client." I nodded, choosing kindness over glowing. "It's not about outsmarting people, Chloe. It's about caring enough to do the work, even when no one's watching." She nodded, a small, genuine smile breaking through. "Good luck, Natalie." With Chloe out of the picture, the office atmosphere changed. People were more willing to collaborate, to share ideas, and to support each other. I started leading weekly check-ins, encouraging open communication, and celebrating small wins. It wasn't just about me anymore. It was about building a team that could weather any storm. But the real showdown came when Vantage Tech invited me to their annual strategy retreat. It was a big deal. Only key partners were invited, and it was a chance to shape the direction of their business for the next year. I was nervous, but excited. This was my opportunity to show my agency, not just the client, that I was more than just a name on an email. At the retreat, I presented new ideas, listened to their challenges, and worked side by side with their team. By the end of the weekend, Vantage's CEO pulled me aside. "Natalie, you're not just our account manager, you're part of our team. We trust you, and we want to keep working with you for a long time." That moment was worth every late night, every moment of doubt, and every challenge Chloe had thrown my way. When I returned to Post Creative, I shared what I'd learned with my team. We brainstormed new ways to serve our clients, to build real partnerships, and to make sure no one ever felt like they had to fight alone. The office felt different now, more united, more resilient, and more focused on what really mattered. But I knew the journey wasn't over. In the world of client management, there's always another challenge around the corner, but this time I was ready for it. I'd proven myself to my client, my team, and most importantly, to myself. But I still had one more message to share, not just with my coworkers, but with anyone who's ever felt threatened by someone else's ambition. Looking back, it's almost hard to believe how close I came to losing everything I'd worked for. There were nights I lay awake, wondering if I should just give up and let Chloe have her way. But every time I thought about quitting, I remembered why I started in the first place. I loved building real relationships, solving problems, and helping clients succeed. That was something no one could take from me, not even the most ambitious coworker. The months after the Vantage Tech renewal were some of the most rewarding of my career. I was promoted to Senior Account Director, and Ms. Ramirez asked me to mentor new hires on how to build trust with clients. I found myself becoming the person others came to for advice, and it felt good to be seen as a leader, not just by title, but by the way I treated people. Chloe eventually left Post Creative. I heard she moved to another agency, one that valued quick wins over long-term relationships. I wished her well, honestly. Maybe she'd find her place there, or maybe she'd learn that real success isn't about stealing someone else's spotlight, it's about earning your own. Vantage Tech continued to thrive, and our partnership grew even stronger. They referred new clients to us, and our agency's reputation soared. But the best part was the sense of peace I felt every day. I didn't have to look over my shoulder or worry about someone undermining me. I'd proven to myself, and everyone else, that I could handle whatever came my way. One afternoon, as I was leaving the office, Mark from Vantage called. "Natalie, I just wanted to say thank you. You've made a real difference for us. We trust you, and we're grateful to have you in our corner." That call meant more to me than any award or bonus ever could. If there's one thing I've learned from all of this, it's that you can't control what other people do, but you can control how you respond. When someone tries to take what's yours, don't stoop to their level. Stand your ground, trust your instincts, and let your work speak for itself. And if you're ever in a situation like mine, where someone's trying to steal your client, your credit, or your confidence, remember, you have more power than you think. The relationships you build, the trust you earn, and the integrity you show will always outlast someone else's shortcuts. Have you ever had a coworker try to take credit for your work or steal your client? How did you handle it?
Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you turn the tables. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs a little inspiration today. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even, it's getting better.